Hi, in this video, we're going to be working in Chapter 3, Section 2. We're working on decimal numbers, and we're going to be working with adding and subtracting decimal numbers. Okay, so I have 4 problems. I'll do 4 problems, and then we'll pause, and you'll do 4 problems. So the first problem has this number here, 3.1105. And I want to add that to 3.6112. Okay, so in order to make sure that we are getting the place values all lined up, we line up according to the decimal point. So rewrite the problem with the decimal points lined up. And now what we're going to do is we add exactly as we would if there was no decimal point there, but we make sure we carry that decimal point down. As a matter of fact, I'll start with the decimal point. Okay, so I'm going to take a minute. You can look down. I'll work quietly on the board. Hope I don't have any mistakes, but let me know if I do. Like as in, complain to me so I can put a note on the video. And I get, it seems like as I added down, I actually had no carrying, so it was a pretty simple problem there in the sense that the arithmetic didn't have too much going on with it. So 6.7217. All right. And moving on to number 2, we're going to be adding 4 decimal numbers. We have to line the decimal point up. All of the decimal points up, and then we'll add starting at the left. So it's actually most important thing is these decimal points and that they line up. And we have an interesting thing happening here. Not all the numbers have the same number of decimal places. But what we know about decimals is that you can add zeros, as many zeros as you want. It doesn't change the value of the number, but now rather than thinking of this as 46 hundredths, you can think of it as 460 thousandths. So it's the same number, just expressed a little differently. Okay, almost like equivalent fractions. So we have the numbers all lined up with the decimal point, and we had to pad with some zeros, and we're going to add. Start with the rightmost column. We'll see how we do. I know I have an error, so I'm checking. Right here. Okay, so the correct answer is 28.993. And that's otherwise known as 28 and 993 thousandths. Okay, so the next problem is number 3. And it's a subtraction problem. We're going to set this up exactly the same way. If you need to pad zeros, you pad them. But you start by lining up your problem, rewriting the numbers, lining up the decimal points. And remember, this is now a subtraction problem, so we're going to have some borrowing subtraction. Okay, so just make sure you bring that decimal point down. I'm going to do it before I even get started. And go ahead. Let's use our subtraction skills here. Okay. So it's 3.039 or 3 39 thousandths. Okay. All right, and we have one more problem before the pause, then you'll get a little chance. So I think I might have written that problem down incorrectly. Let me just go check. So number 4 is 11.36 minus 4.298. Great. Okay, so let's write down the problem, line up with the decimal points. Okay, looks like we need to pad 1 0 here. And we're subtracting. So the subtracting is the same as the whole numbers. We just want to make sure we bring down that decimal point. Just check my answer before I circle it. Okay. All right. So your job, should you care to accept it, is to work on 5 through 8. Press pause, work on problems 5 through 8, and then come back to the video. Hey, so we're working on number 9 here. And the point of the last couple of problems in the worksheet is that we've already seen order of operations, right? The PEMDAS. And we use them with whole numbers, but they work exactly the same with decimals. And so we want to, for this number, for this problem and for the next problem as well, we're just working, we're working with that whole idea of order of operations. So we see in this problem that we have subtractions and additions, and we know in order of operations that for addition and subtraction, we take it left to right. Okay, so the first part of the problem then is that we need to work through this. And once we get that answer, we'll do the rest. So we'll go ahead and put this guy over here, 66.8 minus 3.19. Very careful, lining up decimals. I need to pad 1. Okay, and we subtract. $66.31. I'm sorry, 63.61. All right. And so that's the first part. That's the first operation that we did using our order of operation concepts. Okay, so the second thing we have to do is we're going to work left from right. So we're going to do this addition. And that addition says 63.61. And to that, we're going to add 4.89, making sure we line up decimal points. And it's an addition problem. So let's go ahead and do this addition. And we get here 68.50. Hope we got it right. I don't have a mistake. I wish we were all together sometimes when I'm up here doing these videos, so you can help me with my mistakes, but here we are. Okay. And so then the final thing again, adding, subtracting left to right is this subtraction problem. So I'll put this one over here. Get this cleaned up. So we have 68.50, and from that we'll subtract 0.065. Okay. So we lined up the decimal points. We're gonna do a subtraction. We're gonna add that pad with the 0. All right, so here, borrowing subtraction. I'll check my work. Whew. Okay, it's correct, so I'm gonna circle it. Great. All right, so that's it for this video. You can pause you can stop the video. One more problem for you to do. Remember that one has parentheses. So everything inside the parentheses happens first according to the PEMDAS in order of operations. All right, I'll see you in the next video.